It is Grilled Cheese Month. Welcome back to Celebrity Chef. I'm Michelle, and this is my guest, Brianna. Welcome.
Hi, thank you.
So how did you find out about the show?
I actually work in admitting at the hospital, and we just got new TVs in the lobbies, and I saw Marty West and Kendall Sawa both on there, and I thought it would just be really fun to come on here and cook, because my husband always jokes about how I'm not the greatest cook. So.
Sweet.
Yeah.
All right, so it is Grilled Cheese Month, and our friends over at the A&P have once again hooked us up with some awesome stuff. And actually, they gave us some additional stuff that I wasn't aware of. And as usual, the A&P has one of the best cheese delis in all of Ketchikan. Being that it's Grilled Cheese Month, we're also going to be using some Tillamook cheese. Now, what we're going to do is grilled cheese for every day of the week. 7 different grilled cheeses, a really bizarre, kind of strange take. We're not talking singles and some butter and white bread today. We're gonna make the real deal, all different kinds, and I think that'll be really delicious. However, the first thing that I did in lieu of time is I started tomato soup.
Perfect.
You can't have grilled cheese without a good tomato soup.
I love it.
So what we've made, I've started a tomato basil heavy cream soup, and that's been sauteing. So the first order of business is we are going to mix that up and put it back on to simmer, and that can be kind of cooking away while we make our other stuff, all right? So as you can see, we have a whole variety of breads. Bread is the key element to a great grilled cheese sandwich, and also some various fresh herbs and spices. And just in honor of you, Brianna, what I did is got the natural phytonutrient boost immunity spinach. So that way people don't have to come see you at the hospital, because that's the goal, right?
Cool.
All right, this is a really easy, awesome, healthy tomato soup recipe. So what I've done is I've taken 4 cups of tomato juice, canned, cheap, however you want to make it. That's super easy. And then I threw it in a saucepan, put it on simmer, and then I cut up, today I cut up fresh tomatoes. But you know what? I'm thinking that's a little high maintenance, because it called for seeding them and taking the skins off, which of course I didn't do. Riddled with ADD, I don't have the time or attention span for that. So I just threw them all in there. Now, if I were to do it again, I'd probably grab a couple of cans of tomatoes.
Yeah, already diced.
Yep, and throw them in there, easy. Let it simmer on low for 30 minutes. After that's done, and I'm the world's messiest cook, so watch me spill it all over myself. It's gonna go right in here. It's really full too, so let's see. Right? Oh, I knew it! Party foul right there out of the gate. Okay, so we now have a messy tomatoey kitchen, but what we're going to do is puree this. Let me get rid of this. And just to kind of mix it up and get the chunks of tomato just so they're a little smoother. The idea about this soup is it's supposed to be really creamy and smooth. And later on, we're going to be adding in real butter, not margarine, not the oily kind. Salted, I would think, would be better. And we're going to also throw 14 fresh basil leaves in here. It's going to be all pureed up, and it's going to be really nice, and hopefully I won't lose half of it when I transfer it back to the pan. All right, this smells awesome, fresh basil. This is a lot of basil. You really won't need all this. So let's go ahead and rip off about 14 leaves. Throw them in there. Fresh is always better, and it's gonna, you can smell that. And
oh yeah, you could like smell it right when you
4,
opened it.
5, whatever looks good to you.
Oh, I lost count.
Yep, me too. All right, so throw a couple more in there and we're good. Okay, so question of the day. What do you do with this when you're done? These come in big packages, and this is great stuff. So what I would do if I were having leftovers like this is I'd go ahead and break off the stem and take these leaves, throw them in a Ziploc baggie, and throw them in the freezer. Easy. So let's see if we can make a mess again. So you're gonna puree this just until it looks good. And look at that, I left, let's hope we don't get sprayed here. Yikes. And we're gonna go on puree. And you can see that fresh basil getting all chopped up in there. There we go. So we're gonna pour it in here, hopefully without getting it all over ourselves. Slowly, and that looks really good, actually. It smells awesome, too. And you can see how much smoother it is, and a lot of those tomato pieces have gone out of there. So what we're gonna need is heavy cream and butter next. And what we're gonna do is a cup of heavy cream and a half cup of butter. So I've grabbed this butter, and I'll let you unwrap that. And I have heavy whipping cream is really, really important. And I know a lot of people like to diet and use skim milk. Another option might be sour cream. I've seen it made that way. It is excellent. And if you really want to spice it up and make it a little bit more of a heavier soup with maybe a bit more taste, as opposed to a summer soup, one thing that you can do is add in a little bit of chicken broth, but don't go too heavy on that.
So how much butter?
We're going to go with a half cup of butter.
Half cup. So the whole stick.
The whole stick.
The whole stick.
We don't skimp around here. And then we're going to go with a cup of the heavy whipping cream.
Okay.
And you can go ahead and just drop that right in there.
Oh.
We're so messy. All right, so we're going to go with a cup of heavy whipping cream, and you can see how creamy that is. And that's what's really going to give the nice taste to this soup when it's all said and done. So in that goes. And you can probably add salt and pepper to taste, but this is meant to be a really simple soup. The nice thing also about this soup, Brianna, is that you can make this soup and you can serve it hot, but another really neat way to serve it is, especially in summer, if it gets hot, what you can do is you can chill it and serve it as a gazpacho. So lots of different things that you can do. So we're gonna go ahead and put this on about 4 on my stove, like a low medium. And just kind of let that butter melt in there. And you do not, very, very important, when you're working with a heavy cream, you do not want this to boil.
Okay.
Because it will scald the milk and it will ruin the soup. So you really want to kind of just keep an eye on this and just let it sit. And then while we're making our other dishes, by the time we're done, this will be awesome soup to pair up with our grilled cheese. Oh, that looks awesome. The ultimate comfort food. Okay, Monday's grilled cheese is by far the easiest because Mondays are horrible. No one likes Mondays. So we're gonna make this one really easy. This is Vidalia onion and a regular medium cheddar cheese and pickles to spice it up a little bit on whole wheat bread. And we're gonna use the standard butter, but everyone thinks that they wanna use butter when they're making grilled cheese, right? I'm gonna show you a secret a little bit later that will make your grilled cheese that much better. So this is really easy. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take 1 or 2 thin, like onion ring slices. So if you could take care of that, I will butter the bread.
Okay, I'm not the best at onions. How do you?
Or if you'd like to butter the bread, we can switch. How's that? All right, you got a deal there. So you're gonna take about a small butter pat and you're gonna do the outside of that. And then when you're doing onions, you just wanna kind of score it like that. Cut off the other end. And you know, it's actually funny because I own a pair of like science class goggles.
Oh, really?
Because if you're gonna make like onion soup or something like that, if you wear those goggles, no problems. All right, so throw that back in there. Now this really, really important because you're not gonna have your grilled cheese on the stove for very long, right? Because you don't wanna burn it. I've done it, you've done it, we've all done it. So you wanna make sure that these slices, and I'm gonna apologize, I'm kind of lefty here. You wanna make sure that they're just as thin as you can make them.
Okay. And do you want both sides buttered?
Yep.
Okay.
Just, you're gonna go one side of each slice of the bread.
Oh, okay.
So see how thin that is? And that's gonna enable that onion. And it's really important to use a sweet onion. Now, Ann P was out of Vidalia onions, which are typically, this is a real down south kind of grilled cheese recipe. So what they recommended, and I love their produce people because they always know they're spot on. They have the best produce and they know what they're talking about. So this is actually an East Texas sweet onion. So I think it's really cool. If you don't know what, whoo, I'm starting to cry. If you don't know what you're shopping for at A&P, go to their produce section and they will recommend the best thing for your particular dish. And I really like that. Being in Alaska, you can't just run out and grab whatever you want. So I've got to get rid of these. Holy cow. Now, another really important thing before we fire this thing up is we are going to, which it is already fired up. Okay, this is a really cool sandwich pan. A lot of people think that they need to go out and buy the $80 sandwich maker from whatever store. Totally not what you need to do. This I actually got for free at a garage sale. Someone didn't want it, so I'm like, yeah, I want it. Now, as opposed to having that fancy schmancy sandwich maker, I'm going to use this. This is one of my favorite kitchen tools. It's so versatile. But when you put your sandwich on there, and after you get it on there, then what you want to do is get something heavy and put it down on top. And that will help your cheese melt evenly, and it'll make a nice golden brown sandwich.
Oh, cool.
We hope, right?
Yeah. Okay, so how many pieces of bread did you want?
Okay, so we're going to do one sandwich for every day of the week.
Okay, so just 2.
So we've got 2 slices of bread, and this is really easy. Why don't you go ahead and open that up? And we're going to go ahead and put another pat of butter on our pan when we get ready to go over there. And you're going to want to take this slice of bread, and as always, I mean, this isn't rocket science, butter side down, right? Okay, so we're going to go ahead and do that, and then what we're going to do is take 2 or 3 slices of cheese, and then you're going to go ahead and layer, like so, your slices of onion, and again, it's your taste. These are sweet onions, and so this should be sweet.
This is an opening.
There we go.
I got like halfway there.
Oh, yeah. Here we go. This is why we large knives in the kitchen. All right, so I'll let you grab that and grab a couple slices, and we will throw that on our piece of bread right there. And now these are not the individually wrapped, and I'll tell you, the cheeses like Tillamook that are not individually wrapped like some other cheeses that you'll see, although those are just fine cheeses as well, this is a better, higher quality, and typically they will melt more evenly. So I'm going to just lay 2 on there because they're kind of thick. Throw some of these onions, and I wouldn't go too heavy on these onions. Like this slice right here, probably not so much, because you're going to have a hard time getting this to cook. And just do a couple like that, and then you're going to take some pickles. Now I've used the hamburger chips, but you could also certainly slice up a kosher dill or whatever you want. And then bam, and you're done. Took all of 2 seconds. So we're going to go ahead and put that on the plate right now. And what we want to do is, got to be really careful with butter when you're making grilled cheese. Don't go too big on your butter, because then your first one is always going to be burnt. So we're only making 1 each, so we're going to just do, I think I'll go with about half a pat of butter and throw it on the trusty skillet here. And I like to play it safe, and I'm going to go with about a 7.5 or an 8. I'm not going to go high right off the bat. If you really want to be healthy, you could probably use like an olive oil spray, and that would work just fine. Grilled cheese is easy, but it can also be kind of high maintenance because you kind of have to babysit it. So we've got just enough butter melted on there. And we're going to take this, bam, kind of onions peeking out there, and wait for that to heat up. And once I start kind of hearing a little bit of a sizzle, I'm going to go ahead and put like that. See how that's smushed down? That's going to make that cheese melt all the faster. Okay, so can you see how that butter is starting to get a little brown? That means it's a little too hot. So I'm hearing a little bit of a sizzle, so I went ahead and put the weight on top. You know, in old days, they used to actually use their old iron. And lay them on top. A lot of people will use another pan. So if you don't have a nifty kitchen gadget like this, you can go ahead and grab another like skillet that you might make eggs in, or something that's heavy, and just put the whole thing on top there. So let's go ahead and Oh yeah, look at that. And that is telling me, see how brown that's getting? That's still just fine, but that's telling me that my pan's just a little hot. And every oven and stove is different, believe it or not. You think you know what you're gonna get, but your 350 inside your oven is gonna be different than my 350 inside my oven, just like my number 5 or my number 8 is gonna be different than yours. So it's really kind of hit or miss, and it goes back to what I was saying before. You're not just gonna make one sandwich, typically speaking, right? You're gonna make 2, 3, 4. So that first one should always be, in my mind, your throwaway. Because that's the one you're gonna screw up. That's the one that, you know, this is Monday. Monday's not important. We don't like Monday anyway. So we'll see how this one, and you can see those onions are starting to brown, and roasted onions are really good. So we always just kind of take a peek. It's feeling kind of soft. Oh yeah, perfect. Bam. One done, and that was less than 10 minutes. And that's just a neat little take on a nice recipe. Okay, now here's the other theory that I learned. There is an operating theory amongst grilled cheese aficionados that grilled cheese always tastes better when cut diagonally. So if I were gonna see how it kind of looks groovy, huh?
Yeah.
A little different. So if I were gonna be presenting this, might have my cup of soup in there and maybe just do a nice little garnish, and then a couple pickles. Bam. Day 1 grilled cheese, done.
So easy.
Yep. Okay, Tuesday, getting a little busier in the week, and maybe you're kind of getting bored with your week, so let's spice it up, kick it up a notch, and this time we're gonna make a Mexican style grilled cheese. And I think this one is really, really cool because there's a couple of little twists in it. We're gonna use the Tillamook pepper jack cheese, so that's gonna kick it up a notch right there. And what I did is at the A&P, I picked up this guacamole mix. This was super easy. All you need to do is take 2 avocados. Do you know how to slice an avocado properly, easily?
Maybe. I don't know if my way is the correct way.
I'm going to show you because I used to peel it and everything else. Not
I used
so.
to just cut it. Yeah, just like
slice
that.
it down one side, slice it down the other, pry it, and scoop it out. So that's exactly what I did. And for good measure, so it doesn't turn brown, so it's still pretty, put a little lemon juice in there. But what we're going to do is we're going to take the pepper jack cheese, and instead of the regular butter, what we're gonna do is, bet you never thought, hospital, I brought this out just for you. We're going to mortar and pestle some garlic into the butter. And then we're gonna spread it on the bread, okay? So we're going to go ahead and make that whole sandwich, throw a couple of tomatoes in there, just because I like tomatoes and they're healthy, a couple of black olives. We're gonna go ahead and grill that grilled cheese, also a few onions, and then when it comes out, here's the tricky part. You have to really watch this one. You have to pry open the sandwich, right? And stuff it with guacamole. And now that is a very spicy guacamole. So this is definitely gonna have some kick to it when it's all said and done.
Good, I love spicy stuff.
Yep, and you can also, if you really want to kind of make it a little more spicier, I might add just a tiny, maybe a drop or 2 literally of hot sauce in your butter. And that would make it really, really cool. Or, even easier, maybe a little red pepper. But that depends on how spicy you like it, okay? So let's get busy.
Okay.
So this time we're just gonna use a plain old white bread, the old standby. And I will let you open this up. Here's another nifty little trick. Okay, so this is your standard cheese thing, right? And you don't want to go too thick on your cheese slices, but I have a really cool tool. This is, technically speaking, a cheese grater, but just for good measure, another thing that you can use this thing for, and this is like something I use in my kitchen all the time, you can go ahead and peel cucumbers or carrots. It's that sharp. So I'll let you choose which one you want to use. We can maybe hold off on this until we want some thicker slices of cheese. Now, if you're going to make your mortar and pestling easier, you might want to go ahead and we've had this butter out just go ahead and mush it up a little bit inside the package. And here we go. And I'm just gonna squeeze a tiny little bit in there. And then I'm gonna go ahead and grab, and I use my fingers, but you know, we're not a restaurant, so go ahead and put just a little bit. And this is just totally it. I mean, there's no science to this whatsoever. And then we get to be really messy. Just kind of go in, grind it down in there. Just enough so that garlic is actually in the butter. Mm-hmm. And you might have to grab a spoon like I'm gonna have to do right now to kind of make
cheese
sure
packages are not my thing
back
today.
in there. And just get that mushed together. Hey, that looks good. We don't need a whole block. Perfect. So I've got the garlic butter all done. And I will get our butter knife. We'll butter up a couple slices of bread. Again, we're going to go on the outside of the bread. Some people like to go on the inside and the outside. It's really however you like it. And that's the really cool thing about grilled cheese. I'm wondering if folks who are sitting at home watching aren't going, what are the weird things that I can put in my grilled cheese? I'm sure they
Kind of start experimenting.
Yeah, exactly.
So these are a little bit thinner. Do you want me to?
Those are good. I think that, yeah, that's perfect. That's perfect. Okay. All right, so in our cooking frenzy, there we go. There's my butter knife. All right. So I'm just going to kind of go like that and grab a tiny bit. Make sure the garlic's on there. Kind of spread that out. And when we put this in that pan, it's really going to make this place smell awesome. Because that garlic. Now, here's another tip. You really have to watch the heat on this particular sandwich. And what I mean is the stovetop heat, because when garlic gets too hot and it gets brown, it gets bitter. And you don't want that. You want the garlic to taste like garlic and not something that's sour and bitter, because it'll just ruin the whole thing. So just kind of spread that just like we did before. And bam. All right, so easy once again. We'll flip it over. Start stacking some cheese on there. That cheese smells great. And again, however you want to construct your sandwich, it might be a little thick. Let's go with a thinner one. Throw a couple onions. Whoops, I'm pelting you with black olives. You didn't realize it was going to be so dangerous in the test kitchen, did you? All right. Now, if you are a real cheese person, you could probably even lay another cheese on top of there, but I'm thinking it's going to be hard to pry it apart with this particular grilled cheese sandwich. So let's just make it easy like this, and bam, and back we go. Now, I've got a little leftover, and we've used our last pat of butter with the last Monday grilled cheese. So let's try and throw that on there. Let's see what happens.
Okay.
All right. Back we go. A little pat of butter on there. And watch, every other day of the week grilled cheese is going to taste like a little bit of garlic, but that's okay.
Garlic is good.
I love garlic.
Me
Garlic
too.
is healthy too. All right, again, I'm at about 7.5. Better to be not hot enough as opposed to too hot. I like this flat pan because if you get too much butter in there, you just kind of scoop it out and get rid of it. All right, you want to grab our sandwich?
Yeah.
Ooh, and that already smells really good. So a lot of these sandwiches call for leaving them on here for 5 to 7 minutes, but you know, I don't prescribe to that. You really just kind of got to watch it. Again, wait till you hear the sizzle, and then go ahead and put whatever weight you want on top.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm feeling that right there. I'm going to let this one be maybe a little chunkier and not press it down. Okay, so we did a lot of butter. See how that's almost greasy looking? We'll flip it again later. This other side will brown really quickly, but I'm really smelling that, aren't you? And I'm going to turn it down a little because our cheese is not melting as quickly as I would like.
Okay.
What's your favorite kind of cheese?
I'm a big cheese person. Cheese is awesome to me, so I kind of I don't dislike any really. But probably pepper jack and American and mozzarella.
I love cheese too.
And Parmesan.
Anything that can have cheese in it, I'm gonna be cooking with it.
Well, that's what kind of sucks about being on a diet is you can't have that much cheese, but
Healthy eating.
yeah.
All right, so this is looking good. And I'm thinking on this one, it would be really wise to do multiple flips on this sandwich. See how that garlic started to get a little brown? But that cheese is starting to melt, and it's looking really good. And it's really smelling good, too. I also wouldn't let this one sit on the stove too terribly long, only because you've got to take it out and pry it open again. And how do you get the guacamole in there if you can't pry it open?
Yeah. So how are we going to stuff it in there?
I am going to show you. We're going to find out, aren't we?
It's going to be an adventure.
Exactly. So, you were talking about healthy eating. You're actually studying to be a nurse, right?
I am.
That's cool.
Yep, I'm getting all my prerequisites done right now at the college, UAS, and yeah, it's kind of slow though because I can't take too many classes at once just because I have a son and my husband and full-time working.
So you're not a busy person then?
No.
So this is like the ideal meal for you, right? Grab it and go. All right, so this is looking really good. And perfect. That looks fantastic. And oh, if this were smell-o-vision, you would be loving life right now. So the best way, I do believe,
cut it and then
is to cut it in the middle.
Oh, it smells so good.
Yes, it does. And you can see there's fresh veggies in there. And pry it open. I keep losing my spoon here. Let me grab another one. And I will go with a small spoon and kind of pry it open like that. It really smells healthy too. Get a little bit of this. Now I use extra spicy guacamole in this. And pry this open and go ahead and spread it like that. And then do the other side. Oh man, that was a...
Oh.
This is phenomenal. Look at that. Nice pepper jack cheese. And then if you want to dress it up, make your husband feel like he's fancy and special, you can take a little fresh cilantro and put it around the outside. Maybe put a little bit of a tomato and some olives. And there you have it.
Voila.
Tuesday done in less than 10 minutes. I'm loving these meals. Okay, Wednesday, and you're tired, you've been studying, you're still wanting to eat healthy. I've got another twist on a very cool grilled cheese sandwich. So what we're gonna do is I've got this fresh baked French bread from the deli over at A&P, and then the guys showed me this super cool mango ginger cheese. I'm gonna pair that up with sliced turkey from the A&P deli. And then here's that secret that I was telling you about. Everyone thinks they need to butter the outside of the bread, right? Not so. Mayonnaise is the secret trick, especially if you are using a thicker slice of bread. Our bread slices should be about that thick this time around. Now, I came up with another pretty cool idea to kind of pair this up. This is a simple sandwich. I'd put maybe a little spinach on top of it if you wanted. That would be cool too. You could slide that in there, but I'm not sure how this will work out, but I'm going to mix this peach pineapple salsa in with the mayonnaise on the outside of the bread. See what happens.
Yeah.
Okay, so we just opened this cheese, and what I didn't know, it's kind of like the consistency of a brie type cheese, which tells me it's going to melt really fast. We have had it sitting out for a while, and I think I want to change it up a little bit. We were gonna put this salsa on the mayonnaise. Let's not do that anymore.
That with that?
Yeah, let's spread that on our French bread, top it with this, and then slap it together.
Cool.
Have a little turkey in there. I think that would be a really cool flavor. All right, so if you will open the bread, I'll open the turkey. And I would recommend, if you're gonna have any sort of meat in your grilled cheese sandwich, it really kind of needs to be somewhat of a thin cut. And let me grab a nice knife for you. When we're doing this particular type of sandwich, you're going to want to, I probably need a serrated knife, but see how thick that is, and compared to that, you're going to want to go at least that thick, at least. I'll grab a serrated knife. And you know, if it mushes up, I always, you know, this bread is so fresh. They bake it every day over at the A&P, and you know, it's smushing on me, right? No worries. It's still gonna be an awesome sandwich. You can even kind of just tear it apart. And then just kind of, because that's how fresh it is. I mean, it's awesome. And then use whatever leftovers to make French toast or whatever. I've taken out this type of cheese cutter because this is a lot more delicate, and I think it will go through that cheese a lot better. Let's first dump a little bit of that salsa on here.
Okay.
And
so is it gonna be like this piece of bread and then we're gonna do another piece of bread?
Yep, you got it. And so I would say go really, really light on this salsa. I'm gonna just take a little bit, just about like that, because you just want to give it a little kick of flavor. Kind of spread it on the bread. And there's so many cool salsas out there. And you could just kind of throw it on there. You don't want to really soak that bread. And then let's go ahead and throw some cheese on there.
Okay.
And then I would not use, yeah, it really is. It doesn't matter if it's messy, just throw it on there. Because that cheese, because it is so soft, it's almost like cream cheese. It's going to melt very, very quickly. And it's going to be really, really creamy. It wouldn't shock me one bit, Brianna, if we put that thing on the flat pan over there and the cheese starts oozing out over the sides. No worries. But I would take, see how I've got this like that? Do really small, thin slices. Yeah, that's good. That looks really good. And then just kind of throw some of these on there. Guess what we forgot to do?
Oh, put the mayonnaise on.
We did. That's all right, though. We're like so experimenting. No worries. Again, I know everyone tries to eat healthy, but when you're working with something that's melting, you always want to try and use, like in this case, the real mayonnaise. Don't go with the diet or the light. And this groovy little knife that I have right here, just slide underneath there.
Helps it.
And just kind of want to do a light thing of mayonnaise. And then let's go ahead and put another little bit of salsa on this side.
Are we going to put more cheese on this side too?
Only if you want to. I think a really neat kind of twist on this would be, we've got the baby spinach leaves. We could throw those in there too.
Oh yeah, yeah, let's try that. Oh.
And these are great in this type of bag because look how small they are, and they make a nice little dainty kind of sandwich.
Too much.
Just kind of a couple of those on there. You know, you could even use the black olives like we had, so it's really whatever you want. I really think that if people would kind of break out of the box and
experiment a little bit.
Yeah, experiment a little bit more. I mean, grilled cheese is so easy and it's so good, and I think you can have a lot of twists.
Well, this is going to be like a thick.
It's the mango one. This might be the one where we need to press it down, huh? All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and put butter in our pan because we've been using it, but there are folks who say take a spoonful of mayonnaise and throw it right in that pan. Yeah. So back to the stove we go for Wednesday's grilled cheese. All right, go ahead and... This one we want to be really, really careful because of that cheese, the way that cheese is. Just kind of want to move that around a little bit. This thing has been hot. Our soup is looking fantastic. Alrighty. Looking good. And you want to grab the sandwich?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. This one I would definitely want to press down. So let's just let that sit for a minute. while it warms up. And I bet you this one's gonna be out. This one even looks healthy. Mm-hmm. It looks healthier than the other ones. All right, so check this out. Poofy bread. Now, I'm gonna press that down, almost like a panini.
Mm-hmm.
And I hear it sizzling, so I just wanna quickly turn this over. It's looking really good. Do another quick press. That looks really cool. All right, so you tasted the cheese right out of the package. What'd you think?
It was good. It was kind of a weird, it was sweet but creamy, and it was really good. And actually, it's cool that you put the apple out because it tastes like something that would go really good with an apple.
Yeah, totally.
Like just like a little bit on a slice of it.
All right, let's cut it open and see what we got. Oh, yeah. And this would be more of like a sandwich. Mm-hmm. And this type of cheese, I think, as strange as it may sound, that looks cool.
It does. It looks so good.
That looks really cool. So, you want to try one? And I'll try? All right, you go ahead. Oh my gosh.
That salsa totally makes it. Mm-hmm. It's really good.
Fruity.
Mm-hmm. But like in a good way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that rocks. All right, Thursday, yet another awesome day of grilled cheese.
Almost the weekend.
Now, Wednesday was almost like a breakfast grilled cheese to me. It was almost like a breakfast sandwich because it was really sweet. This is a really interesting cheese. I'm honest. Holy cow.
Oh, you can definitely smell the wasabi.
Hot wasabi, horseradish cheese. So we're gonna kick it up a notch Thursday. People are getting ready for the weekend. Maybe they're tired of cooking, and there's yet another really cool grilled cheese that we can make. Once again, with the old standby mayonnaise. This one, we are going to make a tuna grilled cheese using the hot wasabi horseradish. But, because this is kind of boring, there's not a lot here, right? It's pretty standard. We're still gonna butter our sides of the bread, but this one is gonna be a triple decker grilled cheese. So, I will let you cut some slices, and I will get to putting some mayonnaise on these. And you know what you could do on this?
The rind just comes right off.
Yeah, but the grind probably does. There you go. That's a good quality cheese when you see that.
Okay.
I think a really cool thing that you could do is, if you're really into this mayonnaise, you might even take a little bit of horseradish, put it in your mayonnaise, or you could take maybe some ginger, just some powdered ginger, and put it in the mayonnaise just to give it that little extra kick and be a little bit more original. So I've got the bottom layer. I just lay that right there. And then all I've done is put regular mayonnaise into your simple can of tuna. And what I want to do is, because this is going to be triple decker, is I'm going to make it really thin. Just a real thin layer of tuna spread out. And then we will add I would say a couple slices will do it, because this is pretty thick stuff. Now in the middle one, what I would do is go ahead and butter both sides of the bread. And you really, I think, could probably use any fish. I'm just using tuna today because it's quick and easy. We'll go ahead and put a little bit more tuna right there. A million different things you could add to this. You could probably, you could put relish in here. You could do all kinds of spices. You could put peppers, olives, whatever you want. Probably eggs are not a good idea.
Yeah.
Don't think so, not so much. And we will add another, look at it, it's even green. Like the wasabi, that's crazy.
It has a greenish tint to it.
And top layer on. Push that down a little bit. And bam. What did that take us, like less than 2 minutes?
Yeah, it's really easy.
And back to the pan we go. So I'm gonna let you go ahead and throw the butter in there, because I am literally covered in mayonnaise. Go ahead and fire that bad boy up. Beautiful. Just Move that around a little. And I'm wondering when this cheese is melting if it's gonna give off that pungent aroma like it has been. I mean, because it's amazing. And there we go. Sweet. Time to wash my hands.
Yes.
All right, so let's try this because holy cow. That is cool. Kind of sneaks up on you, huh?
Oh yeah, now I'm feeling it. A little bit of burn. But it was really cool because I didn't even know they made cheeses like this.
There's like a million
I
of them.
love cheese.
And you know where the good cheese case is? You have your standard cheeses, and then in the front of the store by the deli, on kind of like up near the checkout, they have this huge array of like, I've never even heard of some of these cheeses.
Like specialty
cheeses. Yeah, you just go
cheeses.
rooting around in there, and they're really not expensive. I was really kind of shocked because these are good artisan cheeses that are available right here in Ketchikan, and I can tell you from experience down south, they are not at artisan prices. Let's check our sandwich.
Okay.
I'm hearing the sizzle on the triple decker. Let's see if I can flip it without ruining it. I'm feeling that bad flip coming on. I might have to go with the double. There we go. Perfect. This is the Mongo grilled cheese.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah. Oh, look how that cheese is melting too. That looks awesome.
I'm excited for this one too.
This is going to be awesome. This is like the club
Yeah.
grilled cheese. And this one I think might be cool if you had some Asian coleslaw, or if you wanted to use a different kind of fish, maybe you could throw a little halibut in there, or some sort of a light.
Be really good.
I bet you it would be awesome. And then you could throw that in there. And here's another thing that you could do. Let's say you're out of bread. You don't have all these different cool breads that the A&P provided. I have used them with great success. Grab your hamburger buns. Everyone, you know, it's like you can never use all 8 in the package.
No.
There's always like that stray hamburger bun hanging around. Grab that bad boy, make your grilled cheese with that. This would probably be really good. But I might throw some like Asian slaw on the side of this or something along those lines. You know it's a big grilled cheese when you need two turners.
Specials. Here, let's do that soup.
Our soup is still cooking away. And you know what also, I'll tell you what, Brianna, this particular sandwich, if you had it with the thick slices or just as it is right now, this one would be really well served if you wanted to serve that cold. That would be a really good flavor mix because that cheese, it's got some kick to it. Okay, there you have it, Thursday's Child. And this one requires a large knife.
Big knife.
Yep. We didn't leave it on there for very long. Just put a few chives on the side there. And there you have it.
Oh, you can
look at that. And the cheese is still green. All right, who dares try it? Would you like to? Let's cut it in fours.
Okay.
That way we can share. Because this is really a hefty, I mean, you can really feel the weight when you lift this one up.
Take this piece.
That looks really cool. And I probably could have left it on there just a little while longer, but I was afraid, so all right. Here it goes. 1, 2. Oh, it hits you after.
I'm still feeling it.
And my first taste was tuna, 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 tuna. This is a plain old boring tuna sandwich. And then like on the third
you just
chew,
taste like the little tiny hint of it, and then it,
oh, good. 2 thumbs up on Thursday, too.
I like that one.
We're hitting a home run all week so far.
Yeah.
All right, Friday, here we come. So what did people say to you when you said, I'm going to go be on Celebrity Chef and we're making grilled cheese?
They didn't really realize that there is different varieties. Like, they were like, well, what do you mean different varieties of grilled cheese? Just what, different cheese flavors and different types of bread? I'm like, I guess
I don't
we'll
know.
find out.
Well, now you know. And actually, Tillamook has a national competition for grilled cheese. And also, there are several states. I believe Texas is one of them. And I know for sure California. They have actually a statewide competition for grilled cheese every year.
That'd
And then
be
if you
cool.
Google it, you'll see on the web, they post all the best recipes up on the web.
Oh, that's cool.
And then there's like, I don't even know, I lost count, how many people who blog all about the best grilled cheeses they've had all over the country. This is one that I lifted from a blog, and this is really unusual, but I thought it was super cool. It's kind of a takeoff on a Reuben to a certain degree, but the secret is chopping up these walnuts very, very fine, which we'll use this. You throw them in the microwave for 10 or 15 seconds, and just to kind of moisten them up, that's all. That's the only point, so that they kind of get a little pasty, right? Then you could probably use any cheese. I'm choosing Swiss, but try to get a smoky kind of cheese. There's smoked apple cheeses at A&P, all sorts of different cheeses, but I'm gonna use this Tillamook Swiss cheese. It is awesome. And then the other really weird thing, of course we're gonna use the dill rye, but then the other weird thing is a couple of dumps of sauerkraut. And then of course we're back to our old favorite mayonnaise on the outside.
Cool.
All right, let's get at it. The recipe calls for about 4 to 6 walnuts. Now, I kind of cheated. I got mine a little.
Already chopped?
Yep, already chopped. Just a few. I mean, this recipe is for one sandwich. So, you do the math at your own house if you're making for a whole crowd. So, just gonna put that on there. And you really want these to be, I'm not sure if y'all can see that, but really, really finely chopped. Because it should have a nutty flavor. And that is looking really, really good. And this is plastic, so I can actually just pop this in the microwave for 10 or 15 seconds. And why don't you go ahead and open the bread and do the mayonnaise trick.
Okay.
And I'll get the cheese. Again, we're back to these kind of high quality, thicker slices that they offer. I love Swiss cheese too. I think I'm gonna go a little, I'm gonna use 2.5 on this. The other thing I didn't mention that I failed to mention is you wanna lay a little bit of this fresh spinach on the top. And this is a dill rye, but you could probably use a pumpernickel, any sort of real heavy, heavy flavored bread will do you just fine. All right, now what you want to do is see how that's just kind of, they're a little bit moist, but not too bad. So we've got our sandwich right here. Bam, mayonnaise side down. Mayonnaise is key, I'm telling you. And then I'm going to go ahead and put a quick layer of the nuts. Just like that, not too many. I'm going to go ahead and lay some of this awesome cheese. And I'm going to go ahead, based on the shape of this bread, and keep them like that. I want this thing to really ooze with cheese. Probably going to throw a little bit more of the nuts on there. You could probably, if you wanted to make it crunchy, maybe mix in the nuts with your mayonnaise. Totally your choice. And then we've got the kicker. You want to get some good sauerkraut. Go ahead and spread that out. Just like that.
Take a
Throw, throw those, a couple of those bad boys on there. Yep, stems and all.
Okay.
Perfect. Beautiful. Bam. Quick, easy, done. Awesome
Cool.
cheese. This is going to be yet another Friday grilled cheese sandwich.
Yay.
We're up to 5 now. Here we go. All right, back over here. Go ahead and throw a little bit of that butter. And we're being such messy cooks today, but you know what? I don't care. I love cooking when it's messy in the kitchen. It's usually a disaster area after I'm done cooking in a kitchen. All right, good deal. Yeah, maybe just another little dab.
Okay.
All right, bam. Sweet. Lemon, and heat this up. Now, the interesting thing is, we could, because we've got the sauerkraut in there, we could still go, I wouldn't press this one down too much because that sauerkraut, being that it's moist, might make your bread soggy.
Yeah.
It might also be really cool. Sometimes if you could slice your grilled cheese into smaller little pieces, this one I might do lengthwise, or I'm sorry, horizontal, then you could take it and maybe throw, because it's like a Reuben, throw a little bit of a thick Thousand Island dipping sauce on the side and then dip your grilled cheese in that. All right, cooking away. Oh yeah. If you really want the cheese to melt properly, like it's starting to do right now, and be nice and gooey the way a good grilled cheese sandwich should be, you want to keep the pan a little bit lower to allow that time. Because a lot of times when you're using a lot of people, and again, nothing wrong with them, they like to use Kraft singles when they're making grilled cheese. I mean, that's what most people think. We're Americans. That's what we think about grilled cheese. But when you're using a high quality deli style cheese like we are, then it takes a little bit longer sometimes for it to melt. And so you just have to be careful with your heat. This is toasting up to a nice golden brown. And that cheese, you can kind of test it. It's almost there. And this one will be really interesting because looks like it's, and that's the other test.
Poke it.
Yeah, poke it. Is it soft inside? Yep. Perfect. Another sandwich done in probably less than 5 minutes. We're sitting here chatting. Again, I probably might garnish this, take a couple of nice walnuts and put them on the side. And you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and use the one with the mayonnaise on it. And there you go.
Nice.
Yeah. This smells good too, doesn't it? Taste test number 5 coming your way. Fabulous Friday. Okay, now this one's really hot, so be careful. That is, look at that. Oh my. That's cool.
Surprisingly, the sauerkraut and the walnuts go great together.
Don't they? It's totally different.
You wouldn't have expected it.
And that bread has such a good flavor too. And that the cheese, the Swiss cheese is really creamy. You know how you get some Swiss cheeses and they can be really strong? Have you ever?
Yeah.
And this is not like that. This is a nice, nice cheese. Sweet. I love it. Awesome.
Very good.
Long week. Saturday is time to spoil yourself, right? Let's make it a little sweet this time around. This is going to be a little tartlet of a grilled cheese sandwich, and we're going to use ricotta cheese, which is excellent, and it always melts very well. Just go ahead and scoop some of that into a bowl, not too much, because we're just going to make one. Now, if you could do the honors of cutting up just a couple of chives. We're going to make it really unusual, and I'm going to throw some nutmeg in there. Just a touch. Do not go crazy with nutmeg. It is a very, very strong spice, and it will overpower a lot of dishes. So just a couple of those. Also, what I thought would be interesting, since this is going to be on the sweet side, a little bit of a mix of flavors.
I can smell the nutmeg.
Yep, and we have some leftover nuts. So I'm going to dump those in there too. Looking good. We're going to use this country white bread, and there's a reason for that.
Soft and squishy?
Soft and squishy, because we have this handy-dandy kitchen gadget. And what happens is something super cool that I'm getting ready to show you.
And so do the chives go in there with
Chives
that?
go in there too. Get rid of that and grab our 50th spoon of the day. So you just want to kind of mush it around in here, like so. This doesn't have to be super duper mixed up. Just mix it up enough. In particular, mainly because you want that nutmeg. You don't want to have it be in one spot. You want to kind of get it all the way through there. So there you have that. Now, here's the trick. This, in my mind, is what makes this dish rock. You're going to start with that.
Do we put anything on it?
we're going to put some ricotta cheese and try and keep it near the center.
But for the...
Not
do
yet.
we need... Not yet?
Not yet.
Okay.
So maybe a little, yep,
A
right,
little bit more.
just tiny bit more. Because this is going to melt down. It's very similar to a cottage cheese, and it's going to melt down, and it's going to be so, so creamy. Okay, no worries. It can be as sloppy as you want. Then we're going to put that on top and kind of see how there's a little bump there. This right here, right there, and then you want to, like that, go ahead and pull these away. Yep. And you're going to kind of end up, it's not going to be the neatest thing in the world, but kind of end up with your little cheese tartlet.
Aw, cute.
Right. Isn't that great? You can sprinkle a little more nutmeg on top if you want. White pepper would be another great addition to add that contrasting flavor into that cheese. That would be fantastic. And then what we'll do is peel this up. I have to use my, because this bread is so fresh. And then we'll flip it over. Guess what? More mayonnaise. And spread a little bit of this on there. And you have just kind of a nice little different take on a grilled cheese sandwich. And this one I might go a little heavier on the mayonnaise. And I'm probably going to go ahead and spread the mayonnaise on this one after I get it in the pan because this bread is so soft. There we go. Day 6 of 7 with the fantastic pageant of grilled cheese sandwiches. Go ahead and fire that up. As I'm throwing food all over the kitchen, I just saw butter go on the floor.
Oh.
Yeah. Destructive cooks we are.
We are. We're messy tonight.
Oh, we are messy. So Saturday is all about being easy. A lot of people like to spoil themselves, enjoy themselves. This is a really rich grilled cheese sandwich, and I'm going to go ahead and throw that on there. And grab a tad bit more mayonnaise. Just to, as I say, a little dab will do you, right? There we go. And we'll let that sit. And that soup, if you've noticed, has gotten creamier as we've gone on. I think it's really interesting. We've done 6 sandwiches with the Mac Daddy, in my mind, Ketchikan grilled cheese. Perfect Ketchikan grilled cheese coming up next for Sunday, which would be something that you could have a really nice lunch with, sit out on your porch on a sunny day, have a nice sweet tea, whatever. But that soup with the Mac Daddy tomorrow for Sunday, all of these sandwiches have taken literally less than 10 minutes to make. So how cool is that? And they're really not your boring old plain.
Oh, they're definitely not boring.
Definitely. Okay, so there's the hint right there. It's, you can hear
The
it.
little tiny bit of sizzling.
And there, you're right, there is cheese oozing out, but no worries. This is going to be a completely decadent grilled cheese sandwich. And you really have to be careful with this one. There we go. Make my heat go up a little bit. This one I think you can get away with a little bit of a hotter heat. That looks fantastic. Getting there.
These pans are also really good for pancakes. That's why we have one.
That's the one reason why we bought it. Okay. All right, my friend. I think this one is so decadent that it might be best eaten with a fork. So there you go. I'm smelling something. I don't know if it's the chives.
I think it's the chives, but I'm not sure.
Look at this cheese coming out the side. Turn that around. It's almost like a grilled cheese cheesecake of some sort.
Yeah. Like cheesecake for dinner.
Now that's interesting.
I like it. The nutmeg and the chives really
Very, very, very different.
balance each other out.
This has got to be the strangest grilled cheese that I've ever tasted.
It is, but it's still really good. I think it's the ricotta because I love like raviolis, and I love pasta and ravioli and ricotta cheese.
That's what it is.
That's what it is, yes.
Grilled cheese ravioli. Totally awesome. 6 sandwiches, 1 to go. This is the big one. I think a Ketchikan favorite. So here it is. Smoked salmon.
Perfect for Alaska.
Gruyere cheese on roasted garlic bread with, we are going to butter the inside, quote unquote, butter the inside of the slices by making this nifty sauce with honey, Dijon mustard, and horseradish. We're gonna lay a couple chives on top.
Okay.
And this will be easy. And we can enjoy our soup, finally.
Yay.
There's no rhyme or reason to this sauce, folks. Lots of folks in Ketchikan know how to make a fish sauce, so it's entirely up to you. Let me get that out of the way. And so I've loaded up some horseradish in there. We're gonna go with some Dijon.
Oh, you can smell it.
Yeah, you can. Dijon mustard. And if I can get it open, let's see. There we go. Some Dijon mustard. The brand is not important. This is just what happened to be on sale. And go ahead and throw some of that in there. You can even probably butter the outside of the slices with this. Got to be careful though in terms of the honey, because it could get real messy real fast. Why don't you go ahead and slice up some of those?
Okay.
That's a really nice smoked Gruyere. It's got a real strong flavor, and I think it's going to pair up with that salmon really, really well. Alrighty. Super easy sauce to make. Kind of mix that up. This should give you a really nice contrast of flavors between the horseradish and the honey. And then I will go ahead, slice up a couple of these pieces of bread. And, oh, this is sealed really well. This is an artisan bread, so it's going to be a little harder. You still want to have your thicker slice, but you want to be real careful when you're slicing this because it is thicker. It's not going to have a lot of give.
Okay.
So as we're slicing this, can I borrow your cutting board?
Yes.
Very cool.
A little bit of mayonnaise.
No worries. Got enough mayonnaise for an army today.
Yeah.
And this is a nice roasted garlic bread. You could probably use whatever you want. But because the salmon is heavier, it's going to require a little bit of a stronger bread. So, you smell like garlic?
I was about to. Oh, look, there's even a
Yep.
piece of garlic right there.
And so the aroma when we actually put this in the pan is going to be
This
absolutely
combination of
terrific.
flavors, I'm pretty excited for.
It's all about the unexpected because everyone thinks that the way to make a grilled cheese is to slap a couple of pieces of bread together, a bunch of butter, and that's it. End of story. And I just don't think that's true. I think there's a number of really cool things that you can do. So this is a nice, flavorful sauce. Got that going on. Nice gift of smoked salmon in here. I'm gonna grab some of that. Now I would recommend, see how this is kind of chunking out a little bit?
Just kind of
Go
crumble
ahead
it.
Yep, chunk that out. Crumble it on there.
Oh, this feels awesome.
Salmon can have a really strong flavor, and because we're using the Gruyere cheese, you want to be careful. So you want to go in moderation with both the salmon as well as the cheese. We have a lot of really, really strong flavors going on in this. We've got the garlic bread, we've got the horseradish, we've got the honey Dijon mustard, salmon, and now Gruyere cheese. Plus we're going to add a few of these chives. So we're going to lay, we've got a thin bread, so again, go ahead. Bam, bam. This is going to take a while for this cheese to melt. And take a couple of these.
Break them up a little bit.
Yep, throw them on there. Give it a little extra oomph. It looks fancy. Now, another really cool thing that you can do with this, let's say you don't want to, you've got guests coming over, it's Sunday, you're tired, you've been cooking grilled cheese all week long, right? What I would do is you could actually take this, being that this bread is like it is, throw this in your broiler.
Oh, and not even put them together.
Right, not even put them together. Make it an open face. Look how awesome that looks. You throw it in there and then you come out and serve it right on the side on a nice plate next to your bowl of soup. Let's do that with this one.
Okay.
Cool. The Mac Daddy Gourmet right here. We just took this out of the broiler. It looks good. I didn't let it ooze over the side because I didn't want to lose that salmon flavor in there. Do you smell that?
I smell it. I smell the cheese, I think, the smoky.
Yeah, it smells great. It smells great. Our soup is done. And remember, that can be served hot or cold. So that is fantastic. In fact, want to do a taste test with me? All right. The creamy tomato basil soup. Oh, that's rich.
Really
that's
good.
fantastic. I love it. You know what? I'll tell you a little secret. Before this bowl of tomato soup, I loathe tomato soup.
Really? See, I think I can only eat it though with grilled cheese.
Yep.
Like I dip the grilled cheese in the tomato soup and...
All right, so let's do the recap.
Okay.
April is grilled cheese month, so we did a week of grilled cheese sandwiches. Monday, let me get it right side up, Vidalia onion pickles. What'd you think? Different.
It was good, yeah.
Country, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was real country. Number 2, Tuesday could have been our favorite. The Mexican.
Oh,
Pepper jack
I think
cheese.
that was my favorite.
Guacamole. That rocked. But then we did something different on Wednesday. We had the turkey with the pineapple salsa and the mango cheese. That was like the ultimate.
Mango ginger cheese.
Yes. The ultimate breakfast grilled cheese. Not so much on Thursday. That one was really weird. It was the wasabi ginger grilled cheese with the tuna.
I liked it. It wasn't my favorite, but I did like it. I think I've liked all of these.
I did too. They're all really, really different. Then we did Friday with the Reuben and the sauerkraut. That bread was really cool.
Yeah. I've actually never had the dill rye before, so that was kind of
I think I would like to play around with that one a little bit,
Yeah.
but I like the nuts in there. That was really neat. Saturday, totally different take. Grilled cheese ricotta tartlet.
It was the ravioli.
It was the ravioli grilled cheese. There you go. And today for Sunday, we need something a little fancier. So we've got the smoked salmon with the honey mustard, horseradish sauce, and the smoked Gruyere cheese. And then our trusty tomato soup, creamy basil tomato soup that can go with anything.
Cool.
Thanks for watching. That has been a great celebrity chef. And now you know how to make grilled cheese other than just one way. See you next time.
Ah, it's so hot.
Is it really?
Yeah. The inside is. Oh, really warm.
Strong, huh?
It is. The sauce is really powerful. Can't really, I don't know if it's just because I don't have that much salmon, but I can't really taste the salmon.
Maybe load some more salmon on there.
Yeah, a little bit more salmon and probably a lot better. Yeah, you can definitely smell the horseradish in it. Oh, there we go.
Cool. Sweet success on Sunday.